Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel with Readings by Circe with your girl Becky, coming at you guys with day number 26. After today, we have 4 days left, guys. And you're like, why is she so excited to finish, guys? I have been on this journey for 60 days, almost 60 days. So yes, I'm ready for, just as we all are, for a break, right? But I want to make it through first, and I'm going to be here with you guys doing this day in and day out until the end. But I'm just so excited. I can't believe that we're here on day number 26. We have officially made it to the last day of the throat chakra. We're talking about this connecting on a deeper spiritual level. But before we get into that, guys, if this journey is resonating with you, please hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel and set that notification bell so that way then you always know when the next video does come out. And just for ease and convenience, I will post any video on my channel always at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will never deviate, guys, and that is just so you guys always know when to check back at my channel and see if there's some new content for you guys, okay? Excellent. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know how this is going for you guys. It's been a journey for me. Like, it's just, I feel like I do have some extreme ups and downs while I'm on this journey, but it's good. You feel it evening out, and you feel like this change within your being, and this deepening, right? This deepening to your soul, and understanding what your intuition is truly trying to tell you and which way it's trying to lead you at least that's how I am experiencing the journey. But please let me know how it is for you guys. I do understand that we will all experience it in many different ways, and that is the beauty of human life, is there are so many different experiences out there, and I love to hear about them. We have a lot to cover today, guys. This week is a lot of information, but I wanted to save it all and put them all together because not everybody is going to be really interested in the spiritual side. Even though this is a very spiritual center within us, this is really for those of you guys that are just looking to go into that deeper spiritual journey and really connect with things that are kind of metaphysical, right? Like, just offering this to you guys. So the same thing that we've done all week. Today we're going to talk about the rune first. And I actually have something a little bit different about the runes today, but we'll talk about the rune that is connected with the throat chakra, which is Anzu's, right? And this has signals on it, and that is, I feel, appropriate because this literally talks about, this rune talks about when you guys get channels from source, when you guys get messages, when you guys have synchronicities coming through, and confirmations, right? The signals that we receive from source. Now, this rune, it's connected to Woden or Odin, right? Esoteric, it means breath or ancestral sovereign god. And there's a reason why I'm going to talk about this particular rune a little bit differently than all the rest of them. It's because some of you guys might not know the history or the legend that comes with runes. We all know it's an alphabet that was from the Norse world, and it was used to communicate, but more than communicate, each rune offers a magical word, protection, and something along those, which is why you'll see the words underneath the runes written on my cards here. Okay? But let's talk about this. This is the rune of clear and concise communication, which is so fitting with the throat chakra, right? And transmission of information. The rune of truth, but truth and wisdom, okay? This is one of the primary runes associated with Odin himself, the king of the Norse pantheon, father of the runic system, okay? In a download during a 9-day journey where he suspended in the forest from the tree of knowledge, the runes and their wisdom for guidance came to him for his path and teachings, okay? And I realized that not everybody might know the legend behind the runes, and so I'm actually going to take some time to talk about that because this rune is connected to Odin himself. And what better place to talk about it than right here, right? So pull up a chair, guys, get your favorite drink, get a cup of coffee, get some tea, some hot chocolate, and it's story time, guys, because it's about the legend, all right? So Odin was a great seeker of truth and knowledge. right? The god of war and kingship. Like, he was a great king, right? Also a god of knowledge and magic. He loved seeking knowledge, and he would go to any lengths to get knowledge, information, wisdom. It was just like his thing, his go-to. Okay. He traveled all 9 worlds to learn all that he could, and often would go find a secret knowledge no matter the cost, okay? He did not care what he had to do in order to get this wisdom. He thirsted for knowledge, okay? As he was never satisfied, he was always pushing on for more to become the wisest sage alive. In the most dramatic act and a sacrifice as to learn a secret hidden deep within a well of fate. In order to learn the magic of the runes, Odin gave himself as a human sacrifice. The story provides tale of Odin the god, as well as showing traditions and rituals practiced in the Norse world. Despite his travels and sacrifices already in the 9 worlds, Mimir said to him something must be given up to drink from his well and acquire its knowledge. Odin plucked out his own eyeball, only to take a sip from the well. Yet there was so much more to learn, and obviously in his quest, he's like, this is just not going to do for me. So he watched the Norns, also known as the 3 goddesses of fate. And even though they rarely shared their knowledge, he still watched them to see. Okay? All he knew was that a great sacrifice needed to be made in order to obtain the knowledge he sought after. He decided to make the greatest sacrifice, and he hung himself from the branches of the Yggdrasil as a human sacrifice, piercing himself with a spear just to ensure the sacrifice was taken as a blood sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice. For 9 days and 9 nights, he hung, looking down into the well of Erd, by which the Norns wove fate, and he waited for the mysteries to be revealed. Odin forbid all the creatures of the forest to bring him food or water to ease his suffering. Slowly the well of Erd began to reveal things to him. There was an image of an ancient god that taught him 9 magical songs. Still, he remained in the tree, unsatisfied. He learned 9 words of great power, but still he hung from the tree, unsatisfied. By the end of the 9th day, and barely clinging on to life, moments before his death, his sacrifice accepted, and the well of Erd showed him the runes, more than just a system for writing or a lost alphabet. Each rune carried with it magic. Screaming as the knowledge entered his mind, he fell from the tree. By offering the greatest sacrifice, he had learned the greatest magical power in the universe. And that is the story of the runes. Granted, it is a very small piece of all the things that go in there, because there's a squirrel that came to him and an eagle that came to him in the forest, and yeah, I just wanted you guys to see the overstory of it and how it played out with the runes, and why they're so mystical and magical. Yes, it might be a legend, but these particular things, like I said when we first started discussing them, they are incredibly powerful, and they can offer you so much insight. I don't know how they work, and I don't know if anybody will ever truly know how they work, but they will give you guys guidance and insight. And I always offer, find your own way to communicate with them and let them lead you, and always ask for confirmation. If you're not sure of what they're giving you, you can ask for confirmation, okay? Now, Anzus has all powers of naming and conceptualization. Yeah, I don't know why that was a weird word to get out right now, but okay. It involves magnetic and persuasive speech and writing. It has the power of suggestion and hypnosis. It's creative wisdom, inspiration, ecstasy, and divine communication. with reasoning, analysis, and good advice, connecting and networking, and listening to oneself and one's own inner guidance, this powerful voice that we have within us. And I'm sure you guys can see how this rune absolutely connects with the throat chakra, right? There's so many things that come out that absolutely connect us with this center. Okay, so for tarot, guys, we actually have 2 cards, and I know I said I wasn't going to do this, but I couldn't not. Like, for some reason, I knew I had to do both of them. So we have Justice and Judgment. And if you guys notice, my Justice card is actually number 8 instead of number 11. And I'm going to tell you guys this one little tidbit of information. The reason that the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot numbered their Justice number 11 and Strength number 8 was so that it would fall in line with the zodiac wheel. But that was after. This is the original Italian deck, so when they were originally made, Justice came out as number 8, showing the karmic cycle and things to end. And number 11 is connected to the number of spirituality and spiritual growth and inner power and inner strength. And so with number 11 being the Strength card, it goes hand in hand with the journey itself, okay? And number 8 being with the Justice. So we have the Justice card, which we'll talk about the most, and then also Judgment here. Okay, so Justice is actually the first of the 4 cardinal virtues, right? Justice reached a fair verdict, always listening to all evidence presented and not afraid to give out just punishment when deserved. Okay, always merciful in her announcements, she will always rule wisely. Okay, now we're going to go into a little bit deeper meaning about this card and some of the things that she represents. Okay, and actually, hold on, I forgot to bring my book. I'm gonna give you guys a quote from my book. So hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, so she shows us how equilibrium or health and well-being are maintained. She is seated between 2 pillars. You see the pillars, one behind her sword and one on the other side here. That of will and that of providence. She does not act. She can only react, right? She takes no forward action. She only reacts to what's being presented to her. She says, I am seated on the seat, which is between the individual will of beings and the universal will of the Supreme Being. The first commandment is thou shalt have no other gods before me, which is Exodus 23, is that one should not substitute an intellectual abstraction of God for the spiritual reality of God. And we've been talking about this all week. You must seek the information that you're looking for. You must ask, is this what I need to know? And then like finding that confirmation that leads you to that inner knowing, right? We can't just take someone's idea for what God can be, because it is just an idea. It's not necessarily confirmation of it. And that's why I will always tell you guys, yes, I believe in source, but I have asked, I have received confirmation, I have received clarification on what that means to me. And that doesn't mean that it's going to be the same to you, right? You have to find that for yourself. You can't let somebody tell you what God is to you, because it's going to be different to each and every one of us. And that's what's so powerful about it, right? Okay, so it says, one therefore sins against the first commandment when one substitutes for the fiery, luminous, and vibrant being of life the abstractions of a principle or an idea, which are, truth tell, only mentally graven images or mental idols created by human intellect. And a way to be about this would be like, they always say money is root of all evils. Well, think about that. Like when you put money above God, when you put money above the supreme being, the universe, source, whatever you call it, it doesn't matter. you are saying that this idea that was made by man has more power in your life than your creator, right? And so that's why this comes to play. Justice is here to remind us that we are to serve, and when we serve, our justice is we are rewarded or we are disciplined, but it's not in the afterlife, it's in physical life that this happens, okay? We'll get further into this. So let us not substitute mentally graven images or abstract ideas for the reality of justice, the real thing that's happening here. Okay, do not let ideas pull you away from your own journey of faith, where you have found concrete signs of existence of the supreme being or source, universe, God, whatever name you call it. Likewise, to judge is based on an idea of the mind, not based on the whole story. Let those who know the whole story, an example, source, shell out due and fair justice. That is not for us to say, to decide, to determine nothing, okay? And this is what I'm actually going to get in further, okay? Let us seek practical, spiritual experience. Ask, and it shall be given. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door shall open. That's what that practical spiritual experience is. You have to ask your own questions. You have to seek your own answers. You have to knock on your own doors. No one else can do this for you. Which is why yesterday when we talked about the hermit, that's such a powerful character, because he walks. No one can walk the journey for him. That is that symbol, the symbolization of what it is for us to go on this journey, to seek ourselves in the spiritual path. Okay? So we are all judges from morning until night. The morning and when we wake until the night when we go to sleep, we are judges. Okay? And thou shalt not judge, from Matthew 7:1, would indicate the renunciation of thought. We can't help that we're judges. It's just how we were raised. We were born into this society that judges. It's what was taught to us, okay? For to think is to judge. True and false, beautiful and ugly, good and bad are judgments we pronounce many times each day. And what I wanted to read to you guys was from this book here. It says, an intuition. Is it there for nothing? Certainly it exists, and it is there for something. Nevertheless, intuition, being perception due to sympathy and love, never accuses. It always plays the role of the defense and the advocate. As it perceives the soul of beings, it sees only the image of God in them. Seeing and knowing that the soul of the offender is always the first victim of all sin or crime that he could commit, intuition play no other role than that of the advocate. The saying to know all is to forgive all. This is a huge concept, okay, guys? Refers to understanding from within, that it is to say intuitive, and not to external understanding, i.e. phenomenal and discursive understanding. A moving formula for the role of intuition in the exercise of justice is given to us in the prayer of the Master as he was being crucified. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. From Luke 23:34. Sorry about my dog, guys. Hold on just a second. Let me check on her. This formula indicates 3 facts. 1, what they are doing from a phenomenal point of view is criminal. 2, judgment is handed over to the Father, surrendered from us. That is not our job. And 3, this is accompanied by the plea to forgive them based on the certainty to intuitive perception that they know not what they do. So why is it not for us to judge? Is because they know not what they do. right? This is why this is such a powerful, powerful concept to really grasp onto, or to really spend time in consideration of. Okay, and the next card that we're going to talk about is Judgment. So Judgment, guys, okay, it reflects a higher calling to truth and a higher order of accountability than we find on a mortal level, reflecting the possibility of rebirth through self-reflection and redemption, calling you to look out across your life and your decisions. What have you done in your life, and why did you decide the things that you decided? The original Greek name of the book of Revelations is Apocalypse, which means lifting the veil or revelation, a surprising and previously unknown fact, especially one that is made in a dramatic way, right? That's literally what revelation means. It's just like instantaneous. I'm sure most people know what that means, but I want to put this in here for effect, because it's like suddenly you have this clarification of what it is that you've done, or what it is that's going on in your life, or why you feel about a certain way, the way you feel, right? Judgment could be the completion of inner processes like spiritual or an emotional quest, new insight that changes our understanding, a paradigm shift, or a personal transformation. One does not recall things simply because they took place. This is the thing, listen to this, but rather because they played a role whose effects reach the present moment, right? Not because it took place. It's because you're remembering something, because it plays a part in this now moment. And that's that impression. That's something to look into, right? Why does that affect me? Why is that a trigger? Why is that coming up, right? This is important. Now, Judgment talks about the threefold macrocosmic memory, or the threefold Akasha Chronicles, or the Akashic Records, okay? Now, there is one that's discussed in a lot of occultist books, and it's only one, and it's the actual timeline that's played out in a cinematic-like way, and it's of the past, the present, and the future, right? And it's not saying that's wrong. That's just one part of the Akashic Records, or the Akashic Chronicles. The Book of Life is the one that we're going to talk about today, which is directly, all three are connected with Judgment, but this is the one that really stood out to me, because I feel like this reminds us, and it ties into what we talked about with the Justice card. The Book of Life, which is a moral memory of the world, right? What we feel is right or wrong, good and bad, ugly and beautiful. The Judgment, right? Okay, it does not contain forgiven or atoned for sins. All forgiving and atonement entails change in the Book of Life, or this third Akasha Chronicle. Because of this, it is constantly modified. Day in and day out, it's rewritten and written again and rewritten again. Okay? As an individual moral memory, the accounts need to be adjusted or canceled for those whom one has pardoned. Okay, and this, before I go further, I'm going to say for one whom has pardoned. Okay, this is a thing. We say to forgive. Why do we say to forgive? Yes, it is atonement, but it's also atonement for our own sins, for holding on to judgment. Okay, forgiveness is not setting the other person free. They have to figure that out on their own. You forgive to set yourself free, and to forgive yourself means that you're letting go of your own sins and atonement in the situation that was played. Regardless if you see yourself at fault or not for what happened, that's not what matters here. There's still a judgment, a biased opinion that happens when we hold on to things and we refuse to forgive, which means that we're in the state of judgment. And if we sit in the state of judgment without forgiveness, then we're holding on to the sins of our past, okay? I'm telling you guys, it's a huge concept. All right, so as an individual's moral memory, right, our moral memory, the accounts need to be adjusted or canceled for those whom one has pardoned, which also is consciously forgetting them. Because if I remember correctly in the Bible, it says to be forgiven and it's forgotten. It's forgiven and it's forgotten, right? That is something that comes up many times. So, 2 are the sins effaced from the book of life. The divine memory forgets, forgiven, and atoned for sins, right? God said, I will forgive and I will forget. Humans are the ones who cannot forget because we take everything so personally. But when we're holding on to that judgment, it only weighs us down and puts us into a much lower vibrational energy, thus hard to embark on the spiritual journey because we're stuck in this sour energy, right? So I felt like I had to talk about these 2 today. They're just so important. They both tie in with everything, and and Zeus does have a lot of these same properties in it as well, but I felt like it was far more important to tell you the mythology and the mystery behind why the runes exist, because we can see that this is more about the center it's moving into the etheric field, right? And so we're moving from the densities of the elements and we're moving into the etheric field. And when you talk about source, God, the universe, whatever it is you believe in, this is very etherical. And finding our own beliefs talks about us speaking our truth, but also listening to receive our truth. These go hand in hand. They're together as one. Okay, so now the next thing that we're going to talk about is the planet that's connected to the throat chakra, which is, as you guys probably guessed, Mercury. Everybody has heard about Mercury. Mercury is such a pain, and it's great at the same time, right? In fact, when we started this journey, I started recording these in the middle of Mercury retrograde, okay? And that way so that I would be a little bit ahead while they were posting for you guys. But the thing is, I'm still here with you guys. Don't trip out, right? But when I was recording some of them, I was tripping over my words and I was really having a hard time on some of them because Mercury was in retrograde, which affects our communication. Now, this is the planet of communication and the messenger of the solar system. In Greek mythology, Hermes was connected to Mercury, who was the messenger of the gods, swiftly delivering news and messages from Mount Olympus. When Mercury is direct, communication on Earth is swift and easy. When it is retrograde, there are greater chances of miscommunication. Mercury helps us to receive messages from our subconscious, right? Again, going back to that ask, seek, and knock. That is so important on this journey. That helps us get our messages from our subconscious. Our subconscious can be our greatest teacher or our worst enemy. We just have to be conscious when we approach ourselves in this, okay? Mercury helps us to receive messages from our subconscious by connecting to any form of channeling or communication, whether that's from the divine, from ourselves, from our higher selves, from our intuition. That can be anything, guys. A lot of the things that I'm presenting on this journey with you guys are facets of channeling, so you guys can absolutely use those to get the messages that you want. If you probably already have, for those of you that have been on this journey with me the whole time. Okay, it does fuel networking and unemotional meetings of the mind, right? Separating ourselves from the emotional side of things, but being able to show up in our intellect, right? Because it's having to do with ruling our mind and our own inner intellect, right? That intelligence that we have. Now, Mercury indicates how we speak, how we learn, how we write, and how we reason. It also points to subjects that we like to study. It can also predict the sound of our voices. Now, my Mercury is in Pisces. It says the speech is soft. I don't know about that. I learned how to project my voice at a really early age, and it just kind of stuck with me. So I don't know if my speech is soft or not, but I'm something here. But compassionate, absolutely, I would say so. And excellent listeners. I've been told I'm a good listener. I don't know. I'm listening, so I don't know. I can't say that I am or not, but I have been told that I'm an excellent listener. There's much wisdom to gain from them, and they have to work on becoming more practical. And I would absolutely agree with the practicality part, because sometimes being practical is really hard. It's just easier to get stuck in dreamland than to be in the reality of things. And it's so important to ground ourselves. And that's just a little bit about how Mercury can really affect a person in the way that they communicate, right? And that's just a small tidbit. However, if you guys know where your Mercury is located at on your astrology chart or your natal chart, you guys will kind of understand a little bit more about yourself. Plus, it can help you get involved in subjects that you might really enjoy. Okay? Now, the zodiacs that are connected to the throat chakra are Gemini. I'm sure you guys guessed that because they're ruled by Mercury. The butterfly of the zodiac. They enjoy learning a little bit about everything. If you've ever met a Gemini, they know something about everything, and they love to share it. And they prefer the airy realm of ideas to the heaviness of life. Mercury ruled, they are clear channels of information, sharing their findings with strong communication abilities. They are brilliant scholars due to their unending curiosity and high intelligence. And I love Geminis because they're so much fun to talk to. Just so much fun and so smart. Though they can be inconsistent, aloof, and considerate at times. A balanced throat chakra supports Gemini's desire to feel understood and seen in the world. Okay? And the second one, you guys didn't guess it if you know some of this, it is Virgo. They live with reverence and integrity as an embodiment of spirit. Their ultimate goal is to be of service to self, spirit, and others. Virgo is the humanitarian of the zodiac. Virgo is practical and modest, yet poetic and profound. Virgo embodies the same energies as Mercury, its ruling planet, being a messenger between the heavens and the earth. They can be a perfectionist, inverted, and quietly observant. At times, they can be obsessive, solitary, and have impossibly high standards, right? Who doesn't? A balanced throat chakra provides Virgos with the gift of asking for what they want and getting it. Awesome. We're making progress, guys. And this last thing that we're going to talk about, of course, is the gemstone. And this is a very light color, but this is aquamarine here, guys. It's just a very, very light color of aquamarine, which is actually my birthstone. I was born in March, so this is my birthstone. Okay, aquamarine is connected to the throat chakra. The zodiacs that it's good for: Aries, Gemini, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Pisces. Its element is water. It can be used for cleansing, meditation, serenity, peace, prophecy, inspiration, tranquility, inner power or inner strength, soothing, it's calming, and safe travel on the water. Y'all gonna get on a boat sometime soon? Take a piece of aquamarine with you, okay? It is a stone of courage with calming energies to help reduce stress. Stress. I can get this out. I don't know what was coming out, but something else was coming out. To help reduce stress and quiet the mind. It has an affinity with sensitive people. It helps with invoking the tolerance of others and overcoming being judgmental. And what have we talked about this whole video? Being judgmental and how that doesn't suit us in our journey at all. And having this knowing of learning to find peace and contentment with what is, how people are, and what they choose in life, because there's nothing that we can do to change that. We can only do with what we have within ourselves, okay? Clarifies your perception, it sharpens the intellect and clears confusion. It promotes self-expression while soothing your fears and increasing your sensitivity. It sharpens intuition and opens up your clairvoyance. It shields the aurora and aligns the chakras. And it's helpful for sore throats, swollen glands, and your thyroid problems if you have some. It regulates hormones and growth, and it also boosts the immune system and alleviates overreactions to allergies, like allergies and hay fever and things like that, okay? You could tell I was in a hurry when I was writing these last things because I literally wrote yog for yoga. I just wrote yog. I just seen that right now. That kind of makes me laugh right now. Okay. So I want you guys to journal. Let me get your journal question. The question. Let's see, we're on the throat chakra, and this is week number 4, your last throat chakra question, guys. Aren't you so proud of yourselves? I am. I'm so proud of you. And guys, look, let me just show it. I brought my journal today. I didn't leave it over there on my desk. I actually brought it today. So make sure you guys are journaling, right? And your question is, what have you sacrificed in order for your authentic purpose to unfold? And why? Why have you sacrificed, or why haven't you sacrificed anything, right? Like this is just something to really look at as we learn how to speak our authentic truth and to listen authentically too. Okay, so I want you guys to talk about that. And I want you guys to check out that 10-minute yoga practice on my channel in the playlist. It's all set for you guys. You don't have to try and find your own or anything like that. It is there for you. If you guys would like to find something deeper, you are more than welcome to do so. And then if you guys have already gotten a throat chakra meditation, make sure you use that meditation. And that could be before bed, or yeah, I would say before bed if you guys are watching this, since I post these later in the day. Yeah, check that out before bed, like right before you go to bed, meditate. That's so good, or whenever's good for you guys, okay? Make sure you do it today, though. It's important to stick with today. Oh, and that's why Mercury is connected to Wednesdays. I'm sorry, I never did even say that. That's why we're doing throat chakra today, because it's connected to Mercury. You might say, well, it's Wednesday, it's not Mercury. Well, in Spanish, it's miércoles, and that means it's connected to Mercury. That's an easy way to remember it. So I totally forgot to look that up because I was doing so much stuff. But no, and that's why it's Mercury is connected to Wednesday. And so it is the day when ruled by Mercury. So that's why we do throat chakra today. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm right there with you. I'm tired. There's a lot of stuff to go through, a lot of notes to make, and a lot of research into it. And so I was just trying to get this done and get out here, guys, and get this for you because this is much later than I normally do these videos. So check out your meditation, and the affirmation I want you guys to work with is, I am always calm and collected when I speak. I am always calm and collected when I speak. And it's not about convincing yourselves that this is true. It is literally about asking yourself, how do I feel when I say this? And then exploring that, if you have a chance to, exploring why these feelings are coming up, whether that's you trust it, you believe in it, or if you don't believe in it, why? Why don't you believe that? Because that is your right, okay? Awesome. That is everything, guys. We have it. We have finished day number 26. And yeah, I think you guys are doing an amazing job. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you guys are interested, I'm going to be releasing a tarot reading along with today's video. And that is no means a requirement. That is just for those of you guys that are interested in my tarot journey. And let me see if I can look this up real quick. And let's see here. Here we go. I love this. This actually worked out so much better. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to give this to you. Wednesday is named for the god Woden, which we talked about. This means Woden here, right? Who is parallel with the Roman god Mercury. Probably because both gods share attributes of eloquence and the ability to travel and the guardianship of the dead. And so Wednesday is named for Woden and also the Roman god Mercury. Okay? Just throwing that out there. I just wanted to make sure, guys. I just wanted to cover all my aspects, all my assets. All right, guys. I love you. I'm gonna leave it there. We're spent. So I gotta get on over and do the tarot reading, but it's there for you guys. Like it, and leave me a comment down below. Let me know how this journey is serving you guys, and I will for sure see you guys tomorrow. I love you guys so much. You've been awesome. I'm so honored to be here with you. And until tomorrow, have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye.